Hi, I'm Annette. I'm a patient at Mandarin Dental Care. Well, mostly grown up. When I was 16, I found out that I had a pituitary brain tumor. I had to have surgery, which they did through my nose. So they had to cut inside my lip. And they damaged some nerves, which caused my teeth to not grow into adult teeth. When I had the radiation for 9 weeks, it started to crack my teeth, and my teeth started chipping and yellowing. And then I found out I had bone density issues. I have osteoporosis, like an old lady, because I went through menopause when I was young because of that. So it affected all of my bones, all of my oral health. I didn't like to smile because I was self-conscious about the way I looked. I never really felt, no matter how much makeup I put on or a pretty shirt or whatever, I always felt kind of ugly, because of my smile, because of my teeth. It was always an issue, like job interviews and stuff like that. I always felt really nervous because I felt like people were judging me on my teeth. Well, I had some bad experiences, which led me not to go for a while until I had an emergency, like a serious major toothache in the back. And I just called randomly to say who could take me right away because it was so painful. So I went to another dentist, and they were pretty harsh. They weren't friendly. They weren't concerned about the pain level that I was in. While they were working on, pulling my tooth, they were talking amongst themselves of where they were going to go to lunch, after, and this and that, how the baby's doing or whatever. And I had tears coming out my eyes because of the pain, and they kind of giggled over it, and I just didn't feel at home there. So I didn't go for a while until I started having more pain in my mouth. And my niece said, Aunt Nettie, I think you should go to the dentist I go to. I said, where's that? She said, Mandarin Dental Care. And I said, all right, I'll give it a try. But as soon as I walked in the door here, I felt at home. The receptionists are just friendly. They knew my name as soon as I walked in the door. Oh, and after I had the fillings done that I actually came in to do, Dr. Prendy said, how about we address your smile? I'm concerned about your front teeth because they were actually decaying. They were chipped, they were cracked, they were yellow, beyond whitening. And I was in shock, but I was happy, to know that a dentist would want to do something like that without me even saying anything. So I said, well, what are my options? I didn't know anything about what he could do. So he said, well, we could do veneers. We could just, put the veneers, do 4 teeth in the front. And so I was like, okay, let's go ahead and do it, and I'm really happy we did. Oh, I cried. I couldn't believe it was me in the mirror, because I was so used to not even smiling, but now to be able to smile, to talk, and with confidence, and just feels different. I don't know how to explain it. Oh, it's made a huge difference. I've ventured on, I've always just tried to keep jobs where I didn't have to be in front and center, to talk to people. And now I get compliments all the time, not just from family, but just acquaintances, and I just feel more comfortable now. And I've been volunteering and, just out there, I think I isolated myself so much because of that. And I just feel like a prettier person. If you're looking for a place that treats you like your family, that's how I feel as soon as I walk in the door here. They know me by name, you know. Hi, Annette, welcome, before they even see me come up to the counter, you know. The women I've worked with before Dr. Brandy comes in, they all, you know, they're, so how's Kevin? How, you know, how's your husband? Hey, how's your dad doing? You know, because they remember me. We talk, you know, and I just feel like family here. I would recommend it to anybody, just like my niece did for me.